stage and begin the session. Kindly give a huge round of applause for sir.
Thank you, first of all. And yeah, so I have a very difficult job to keep you awake for, let's say, next half an hour in this conference. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me here. It's always a privilege to come to Parul University and interact with brilliant scientists. So we started with Nano right in the morning. Dr. Ashutosh showed you all those fancy AFM images, scanning tunneling images. Then we had professors from ERI, Gujarat University. They all talked about all the aspects of nanotechnology. Now, whatever you do, right, there's a common factor. Every research requires money, right? Speaking to the Gujarat population, I don't need to introduce what is business, how to get money, right? But this is something where we as a scientists are very, very weak. Right? We are very good in our brains in science. We know how to do research. We know how to publish papers. We know how to do PhD, postdoc. But when it comes to money, right, हम लोग थोड़ा पीछे पड़ जाते हैं. And that's exactly my job at IIT Gandhinagar is, right? Can we create some kind of mechanisms which the student, faculties, postdocs don't have to run here and there for the information required for the grants management. And this is what I'm going to talk about. So this is an experiment which we did at IIT Gandhinagar for the last 7 years. And we have created something called as Wikipedia. Like, right, whenever you want to know something, you just go to Wikipedia and then Wikipedia will give you the information. What we did is we have created a website called as Grantopedia over the last 7 years, where the dedicated scientists, there are dedicated call center people sitting in IIT Gandhinagar to answer your questions for the funding mechanisms, right? And somehow, this was possible because of the very flexible mechanisms at institutes like IIT. I must say, I'm really privileged to work at institute like IIT Gandhinagar because we get a lot of freedom to try these experiments, to try some of the new experiments, right? So before we go into the details, let me just show you where we stand. And we all should be feeling proud that in Gujarat we have one of the best IITs, the Indian Institute of Technologies, right? Whenever we use the word IIT, people always think of Powai or Bombay, Delhi, Kanpur. But trust me, I have worked in most of those institutes in many, many factors. Having an IIT in Gujarat is a blessing, right? We are in an institute where, so this Indian Institute of Technology was started in 2008 with a mere like 90 students, and today we have more than 3,200 students, right? And these were like just few departments when the institute started. Today we have more than 20 departments and 20 interdisciplinary centers like biological engineering, fire safety, so on and so forth. And importantly, we don't have much good juice. If you see here, we have the students who are coming, 90% of our students are non-good Jews. They come from many other states, being the central institute. Rather, we face challenges to recruit Gujarati students. Trust me, you can see on the website, out of 200 faculties in IIT Gandhinagar, can somebody how many Gujarati faculties are there? Out of 200, as of today, how many Gujarati faculties are there in IIT Gandhinagar? Just one. We are struggling to get good Jews on board, right? Even though we have excellent ratio with the male to female participants. And why Gujarat? Like why an IIT in Gujarat? Right? We all have been seeing the recent developments, right? Most probably, the 2036 Olympics might happen in Ahmedabad. Like there are very, very strong chances that Ahmedabad might be the host for the Olympics games, the way things are getting developed. It is not just about that, but Gujarat is one of the most entrepreneurial, industrial and manufacturing states. We have institutes, if you talk about the Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar area, we have IIM Ahmedabad, which is like the rank 1 in NIRF, Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, National Institute of Design, PRL, CEP, Gujarat Biotech University, so on and so forth. Very safe amongst the different cities. And we are just located near the airport. It's very easy to commute, having an international airport and railway stations, right? This actually makes us class apart, right? If you, those of you who've been to IIT, I'm sure you might get a vibe that this is kind of different from other IITs or other colleges or the other universities, right? We really stand apart from, we have very, very nimble and flexible implementing and novel best of the class practices and pursuing the global ambitions, right? We are not competing with IIT Bombay, we are not competing with IIT Hyderabad, we are competing with Harvard, we are competing with MIT, we are competing with Caltech. Like we want to be the best in the world in what we do, whether it is teaching, whether it is research, whether it is business. Right? And I'll show you some things which we are doing. And being in Gujarat, right, we have a lot of public funds which are paying for the general operations. Those of you who have visited IIT Gandhinagar, right, we have a huge infrastructure, huge buildings, auditoriums, and trust me, we did not pay money for those constructions from our pockets. All the money came from donations. Imagine all the Gujaratis who are in United States of America, right? They are based in Florida, California, Miami, Houston, Texas, New York. And if they decide to give you donations, how much money are we talking about? Right? Millions of dollars in terms of US dollars, bringing back to India and developing one of the best campuses here. We have private funds which support excellence. Right? We have been in top 25 ranks and in top 800 in the world university rankings. And we are now aiming to revolutionize the engineering education in the India. And there we have an answer that IIT Gandhinagar is a living laboratory of curricular and extracurricular innovations in the engineering education in India. We have amazing labs without any borders. Anybody, any student can go in any lab and can use the facilities. We have programs like Makers Bhavan, Tinker's Lab, extensive writing courses, and we are the first IIT in the country to say that we need courses in cognitive and the brain sciences. Imagine having an IIT, engineering school or engineering college with a neuroscience department. Like, what has neuroscience to do with an IIT? Why should a neuroscience department be there in an IIT? But if you see what Elon Musk is doing today in USA, right, can we do something here? Can we even connect Ayurveda to the brain sciences? Right, that is also an engineering. Can we bring nanotechnology to the engineering? That's exactly what these departments are doing. In fire safety lab, archaeological sciences, invention factory, cultural programs, and many of them are interfacing at the nanotechnology work and the research. We have been really working on vibrant student and the faculty exchange. We have very strict codes for ethics and cultural engagements. Many of our students, most of our students actually go abroad. Most of them, like IITs are actually known for that. Like most of the students who graduate, 90% of our PhD students actually receive an overseas experience. Many of our students are right now in Texas and New York and Caltech who are doing the experiments. And we have programs with, joint programs with Caltech, Texas, Canada, Japan, Australia, France, and all these universities are actually looking at Gujarat today for more and more engagements. Right? Now, building all this requires a lot of money. Right? Even to do the research requires a lot of money. Excellence in the project management. Right? We were the last amongst all the new IITs to get the land, and we were the first one to have the full setup ready. Like this is a 400 acres campus, and I'll just show you how we did it in last 5 years. Like all this, what you are going to see. This is the Sabarmati River, and this is our campus. Right? What you see here is the academic buildings. The first phase of the academic buildings, the second phase are behind. Then we have the student hostels, the sports areas. So these are all our buildings which are made by sustainable development. What the madam, the previous speaker was saying, right? We do not even use the electricity. All our buildings are solar powered. 90% of the electricity is made by solar, and the way buildings are made, there is complete flow of the air and energy, and we save a lot of energy. All these buildings are made according to the sustainable development. This is the Kite Festival of Gujarat, which resembles the cultural program, the hostels, water. So these are Jal Mandaps. So we also reuse all the water. All the water on the campus is recycled. Right? This is something which United States, USA, London, Australia are already implementing. The water, there is a huge crisis in London, right? All the buildings are recycling the water. We are the first one where every spot you will see something called as Jal Mandap. We collect the water, we filter that, and we reuse that water. We don't waste. We are the first campus in the country to get zero discharge and zero waste policy. This is the only campus in India where there is no plastic, zero plastic. The Bisleri bottles that you see, they're not allowed in the campus. Right? No plastic, no food wastage. All those policies are, this is the open air auditorium. This is our newly set up sports complex. We have amazing Olympic sized swimming pool, football, cricket ground. This is our swimming pool, all the indoor campuses. And along with that comes the main part. You will say you are not here to show the IIT pictures, you are here for the research, right? Yes, I'm here for the research. And whether it is maintaining the campus, whether it is running the campus, whether it is running the laboratories, or the research, funding scholarships, getting grants, everything requires money. Right? And for this, we have a dedicated department called as Research and Development Office at IIT Gandhinagar. So if you go to the website of IIT Gandhinagar, you will see this is the research page where we have all the existing research projects, publications, research facilities, central instrumentation facilities, external fellowships, awards, student council, research park, incubation center, all those things are there. And importantly, everything is open. Anybody from your university, other university can come and use these facilities. We have excellent facilities right from atomic force microscopy to electron microscopy, biological facilities. And where do I come? Why am I here? I am here to talk about this project which we started like around 6 to 7 years back and we're still working, right? Now, whenever a business is coming, whenever there is money, grants writing, right, it is not one person's job. Right? A single person cannot do all the things. You really need to divide the task, right? Even this conference when you guys are hosting, right? One person could not do it. Somebody is in charge of the food, somebody is in charge of the mic, somebody is in charge of the transport, right? We divided the work so that the efficiency is maximized. And that's what we do here. So how we divide the team between this? So we have at the head called as team of research and development. And then we divided that into 3 components. One is the dean of the external relations, which is the external funding agencies, right? And then we have the dean, which talks with something called as private fundings, like private donations, endowments, alumni, and then we have the register. Now this part, if you see the grants management, the associate dean, we have 3 programs running. One is called as CEP, called as Continuous Education Programs. Here we give money for conferences, outreach activities, meetings, symposia, guest lectures. So there is one team of a professor who looks after all the money required for this program. Then comes the faculty grants and fellowships management. That's my job at IIT Gandhinagar. So I look after all the grants and the fellowships for the students and the faculties. And then third is equally important, which is called as scientific communications and outreach. Right? We all do very good research, right? Your PhD students, you all publish a paper, get an award, everything is good. But if you don't show it to the world that I have got this award, I have got this paper, will anybody recognize you? Right? Some people say that it is a show off. It's not actually a show off. It is a better way to publicize yourself so that you can make more relations, attract more funding, right? So scientific communications and outreach is an equally important department as the grants and the fellowship management. So if you see us, anybody can look at IIT Gandhinagar Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We are very, very active. We have more than 5 lakh followers on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Because whatever research comes out, whatever funds come out, awards come out, we have a very good team which directly works with the faculties to show to the society that this is the award that we have received, this is the publication that has come out, right? We do a lot of activities. Now, coming to the main business, funding, right? How do we manage the funds? How do we manage the grants? So there is a team made of the professors, which is also called as Research Executive Council. Like if you see multinational companies or corporate offices, there are dedicated teams, the HR team, the finance team, right? Same models we are adopting at IIT Gandhinagar when it comes to the money distribution, right? So you have the main person is the dean who looks after all the affairs, and then the main things which I showed you in the last column, we divide the roles, right? So we have people who look after the continuation of the education program, like the conferences, symposia, meetings, giving money for those events. Then we have somebody who looks after collaboration with the industry partners. Right? We have Indian Institute of Technology, or any IIT or any engineering college cannot work without active participation with the industries. And those of you who are PhD scholars, postdocs, faculties, we now know that with the change in times, all the funding agencies which are coming, the new calls which are coming, they require to have an industry partner with you. A lot of calls now make it compulsory that you should have an industry partner or an industry collaborator. So this is the team of the professor and the students who look after all the industry partners. We have professors who are in charge of all the student fellowships, right? Which includes national and international. Many times, I don't know if you have a cell here, a lot of people don't even realize